Good afternoon, Monroe County. I'd like to welcome you to the June 9th, 2022 meeting of Monroe County Solid Waste Management District Board of Directors. And right away, I want to announce that we need to shuffle our agenda so that we can accommodate a proper quorum for doing business. And so after item 1, we are going to move up items 5 and 6, and then we will return to the schedule that we have there. So welcome, everybody. And Mr. McGlasson, would you call our attendance roll?
Munson,
Here.
Thomas,
Here.
Githens,
Here.
Hamilton, Piedmont Smith,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
Swafford.
Here.
You have a quorum. I would note Mayor Hamilton didn't indicate he would be attending virtually, but would be a little late.
Okay. So moving right over to item 5, which is our first resolution this evening. It is 2022-06. Determination that the district must provide waste tire collection services by means of its own workforce or by contract with a third party. That sounds very wordy. Would you like to introduce this with a motion, Ms. Piedmont Smith?
Yes, I move approval of resolution 2022-06. The title of which our chair has just read.
I'll second that.
And Mr. McGlasson. A long title for something that's pretty straightforward. Will you?
It is, and in just a second, I'm getting Mayor Hamilton into the meeting here.
Okay,
And yeah, so it is a long title.
it's trouble hearing you.
It is a long title, and that's due to the language of the statute that it's meant to comply with. But this is, hopefully the first of 2 last steps to getting the district set up to accept waste tires for disposal and recycling. And again, the resolution 2022-06 is required by the statute that in order for the district to implement a new waste management service, the board must make a determination that there's a need for the district to provide that service. This follows up the request for information that we had open in January and February that unfortunately, ultimately, we did get no responses to. But given that there were no responses, legal counsel provided the opinion that it was appropriate for the district to move forward with implementing, providing those services. So that's what we've done, and that's what this resolution does, is the board make that determination for us to provide services. I might note in there that that we are due to some limitations on our abilities, and as indicated in the resolution, we're not taking any and all tires. So I would just take this opportunity to point out that the resolution does state that that the district will accept the following classifications of waste tires from Monroe County, Indiana residential sources only. Would be car, light truck, SUV, pickup truck, what's termed a mud aggressive, which would be ATV or an off-road tire on a Jeep or something. Motorcycle, cart tires, which would be go-karts, golf carts, mini tires, as well as lawnmower tires and bicycle tires. And we would only accept them at the South Walnut Recycling Center in the Household Hazardous Waste Department. And unfortunately, it's a costly program to implement and operate. So there are some fees that we have to pass on to those residents that use the service. So, and that the Household Hazardous Waste Department is where we're set up to transact money. So within resolution 2022-07 is establishing those fees for us to accept the tires.
Okay. Board members, do you have any questions or comments? Ms. Piedmont Smith?
Yes, thank you, Mr. McGlasson and legal counsel and the staff who worked on this. I appreciate it. We had talked at the executive committee meeting about trailers. Will trailer tires be accepted if they are indeed, like truck tires or something? I mean, is there an equivalency there?
We checked with the vendor. They would be classified as a light truck or a car tire, so they would fall
Okay.
into that classification.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions, comments?
I have comments.
And Ms. Thomas has her hand up.
Ms. Thomas, please.
I just want to thank the executive committee and staff, legal for working on this. I think this is a really great improvement and I hope it reduces the amount of waste on the roadside. Thank you for working on this.
Ms. Piedmont Smith, you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, my neighborhood, McDowell Gardens in the city of Bloomington, had a neighborhood cleanup last weekend.
Oh.
And within 2 hours, they had filled up a pickup truck full of waste tires. It's a very urban neighborhood. I don't know where all these tires came from, but people have them. And of course, these people in our neighborhood were lucky to be able to get rid of them for free. But I think the prices are reasonable, as we'll see in the next resolution. And I think this is going to be a great service for people in the community. So I'm glad that we're entering into it.
So,
Oh.
go ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I just thought of something else I wanted to say. Just for everybody else's information. So at the executive committee meeting, we also discussed accepting credit cards. And that is in process of being set up so that people can pay using a credit card. That'll be a lot easier for folks who aren't used to carrying around, cash anymore. So thank you to Kathy Martin and Tom Glasson for getting that set up. And that'll be good to have as this waste tire program gets started.
And to add on to that, I did not mention when I was introducing the resolution that, right now we are looking at July 1st as the first date that we would accept tires. And you'll note in the next resolution, that is the effective date of the updated fee resolution. And we have initiated with the bank, getting credit card reader set up and getting that all set up. We hope to have that in place by July 1st.
So very good. Are we going to have a press release about the new services?
To be honest with you, that is not something that crossed my mind, but I can certainly, assuming this all gets approved this afternoon,
yeah.
work with Ms. Pocrell tomorrow and get a press release out to the paper and radio stations.
Okay. Well, other than that comment, I wanted to note for Mayor Hamilton and City Council Member Piedmont Smith that there may well be multiple neighborhood associations asking for a neighborhood cleanup to get their tires put into the roll-off for free. So I'm hooray for the city for doing that.
We have a regular cycle of those cleanups. I think we do 2 to 4 a year. So happy to have folks sign up for that.
Good, thank you. Is there any other comment? Is there any public comment? Mr. McGlasson, we are ready for a vote, please.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Githens,
Yes.
Swafford,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Munson,
Yes,
Piedmont Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes.
so thank you. On to the related resolution, 2022-07. Ms. Piedmont Smith,
Yes, I move approval of resolution 2022-07 to amend the district's fee resolution in regard to the waste tire program.
Second.
thank you. let's begin with questions or comments on this small resolution. Could the screen please show that the section 2C that has the fees listed? Is that possible for you?
No, unfortunately, that is not possible. I would be happy to read that off for the benefit of those watching. We can certainly, when we do, that will be in the press release.
It'll be
Also would
there.
would be posted on our Facebook page with the announcement that we'll begin accepting tires.
Okay, well, let's have a quick reading of those fees, and we'll wait on questions and comments then.
Okay. So the resolution adds the following section to the current fee resolution. So the following collection and handling fees shall apply to waste tires accepted at the South Walnut Recycling Center. 1, car, light truck, SUV, pickup truck, motorcycle, lawnmower, tires off the rim, $4 each. Car, light truck, SUV, 2, car, light truck, SUV, pickup truck, motorcycle, lawnmower tires on the rim, $11 each. 3, cart tire, which would be a golf, go-kart, mini cart, etc. Tire off the rim, $4 each. 4, cart tire on the rim, $11 each. 5, mud aggressive, again, that would be ATV or an off-road tire off the rim, $8 each. Mud aggressive on the rim, $16 each. 7, bicycle tire on or off the rim, $2.50 each.
So, thank you. Now, board members, do you have any questions or comments? Ms. Piedmont Smith.
I guess just for the benefit of the public, Tom, could you review how we arrived at these prices?
The prices are based on the vendor that we'll be using and what their cost, what the district's cost to have them manage the tires that we accept with, I forget the exact formula, but it's then about a 10% add-on for the district's, labor and administrative costs to manage the program.
And if I remember correctly, there was only one vendor that
Well, I did
available.
reached out to 3 potential vendors. Only one vendor provided pricing adequate for us to move forward with this. Still in contact with the other vendors. We're not under any formal contract or agreement. And if one of the other vendors were to come back with a better pricing structure, we could certainly make the switch and amend the fee resolution accordingly.
All right, thank you very much.
Other questions or comment? Is there any public comment? We're ready then for a vote, Mr. McGlasson.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Munson,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yeah.
Swafford,
Yes.
Githens.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now we're going to go back to our regular agenda, and included for your information, our executive committee meeting minutes for April 25th. And for your approval today, we have in our packets, Board of Directors meeting minutes for May 12th. And we need a motion regarding those minutes.
Yes, Madam Chair, I move approval of the minutes of May 12th, 2022 Board of Directors meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? We've already looked at these. Okay, we have a vote to be taken by Mr. McGlasson.
Swafford,
Yes.
Hamilton,
He's got his thumb up.
Yes, sorry. Yep.
Thomas,
Yes.
Githens,
Yes.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Munson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everyone. Now for the meat of our meeting. This is the Comptroller's Report. And we will get to hear today from Miss Kathy Martin. And I believe this will be Miss Martin's last board meeting because she will be moving to another position. And we are grateful for her work and we wish her all that as well. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. And I have enjoyed working with everyone. And it was a difficult decision because it has been a wonderful position to have. But as far as the cash flow statement, the cash flow summary is on page 7 of the packet. And as of May 31st, the ending balance in the operating account was $1,665,572.51. The savings account was $1,001,100.98. Closure bond debt was $7,512.26. Capital account was $45,437.25, and the landfill post-closure account was $738,961.50. The individual cash flow statements for those accounts follows on pages 8 to 10 and 12 to 14. The cash balance graph is in the middle there on page 11. Questions on the cash flow statements?
I don't have any. Do others have questions? I think we're ready to go. Thank you for that.
On page 16 is a listing of the pre-approved claims in the total amount of $164,212.74. The backup documentation for those follows on pages 22 to 38. And as you can see from the signature cover sheet on page 15 and the payroll and claims summary on page 16, we've broken those claims down as to those approved by the board each week and those that were approved under resolution 2022-22. Since we had no accounts payable this week and in our biweekly pay schedule, that pre-approved amount of $164,212.74 is the total of claims that I approve and am submitting for your approval. Questions on those claims?
Ms. Piedmont Smith?
Yeah, I noticed on page 27 of the packet, there's a claim for Lambert Consulting for updating and uploading 6 infomercials to YouTube. And I wanted to inquire whether these are also used on Comcast or in other ways, because our YouTube channel has a whopping 8 subscribers. So if we're spending money making things just for YouTube, I don't think it's a good investment.
Well, the answer to the question is yes and no. The YouTube channel is in essence is a library of, any and all videos and infomercials that we've ever done. Not all of them are currently in the rotation with Comcast. Some will come back into that rotation. Others are just a little older, and we've either updated them or made new ones to replace them, but we've left the old ones available on the YouTube channel. So specifically for what that bill, without seeing the bill and knowing which videos were done, I can't specifically answer your question.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the very end of that.
Without reviewing the invoice and seeing the titles of the commercials that were updated, I can't specifically answer your question. But the videos that are out on YouTube as a whole rotate in and out of the Comcast schedule.
Okay,
Most of them do.
all right, that's what I was hoping, that they were not just on YouTube where very few people would see them. Hopefully there's some cross-pollination also with Twitter and Facebook. When something goes on YouTube, there could be a link to social media.
the ones that this invoice would cover would be 30 to 60-second spots, which are a little bit longer than what we put up on. Sometimes they'll get on Facebook, but usually not on Twitter. They're too long for Twitter. And we try to keep things a little shorter on Facebook when we can.
Okay, well, throwing in a link
But-
to Facebook doesn't hurt anything.
Right,
Okay, thank you so much.
thanks. Other questions or comments? Is there any public comment or question? See none, we need to have a motion in front of us for this approval.
Madam Chair, I move approval of payroll and claims as presented in our packet for the meeting today.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. McGlasson,
Jones,
Yes.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes,
Githens,
Yes.
Munson,
yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes,
Swafford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So, thank you, everyone, and thank you again, Kathy Martin. Best wishes to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, now we have the CAC report, and we have Mr. Joseph Winia here with us. He's coming to the lectern.
Indeed, afternoon, board members.
Hello.
All right, for this past month's activity for the CAC, we had our regular meeting, which had adequate attendees present, but not enough of them in person. So we didn't have a quorum. So unfortunately, we weren't able to approve the joint meeting minutes. So that will be deferred to this coming week's meeting, which we will try again, and at the very least, try to get the approval of those who were in attendance of the joint meeting, so that can be approved by both bodies without too much further delay. We did, however, continue with a discussion. We had intended to have a tire recycling proposal from John Porter of High Speed Tire and Automotive, but he ended up not attending. So we briefly discussed the topic and concluded that there would be no further action planned on it. So I'm glad to see it proceeding with the board as well. And then we also discussed the desired responsibilities for the proposed new district staff position, which we among the ideas discussed were emphasis on 5-year plan implementation, engagement with institutional administrators on waste reduction, having a central point of communication between various community stakeholders, and also having them provide feedback on modifications to the 5-year plan objectives based on the implementation results. So following that meeting, we had what is the Implementation and Evaluation Guidance Subcommittee meeting that was formed in a previous CAC meeting. So this was our first convening of that body. And so in short, we discussed the creation of a 5-year management plan reporting document, included some American Planning Association best practices in our discussion, and then proposed posting the 5-year plan reports on the district website or public media, or I'm sorry, social media for the public to be able to view as well. And then created an initial draft of the reporting document. And then Director Tom McGlasson also suggested potentially having a meeting between the staff most engaged in this particular reporting document and the CAC to get feedback and come to a consensus on the content and structure of that reporting document so that it works the best for everyone involved and there's collective buy-in on using it going forward. So that was that meeting. We also got planning completed for our annual Adopt a Road, which is going to be this coming Saturday. So that will be fun and hopefully the weather will be fair.
Right.
And then lastly, we also did planning for and actually held our other subcommittee meeting, which is for the district rebranding. That was this past Monday, the 6th. There was a good amount of discussion and input. Some of the slogans that I wanted to mention that were discussed and I thought received the most interest were "Our world, our responsibility," and "Your actions, global impact." So two of the ideas that seemed to have the most traction among that discussion at the time. And then we also discussed some potential logos, including a shrinking trash can to indicate waste reduction, or some central image that represented the district with potentially smaller images surrounding it for some of the auxiliary functions of the district. And a potential new title, instead of just calling it the district, would be the Waste Reduction District, to add some more clarity and description to the fact that it's related to waste and that the objective is reduction. So all of those things said, it was concluded that the best approach would be to bring all of this information to a marketing consulting agent for developing the logo in particular, but also the color and some of the branding content, so that while there was interest in having public input, in the interest of time, it would be more practical to have it professionally developed, and then also have a smaller, I guess, feedback and discussion approval loop as well. So that is the contents of the CAC's activity for the last month.
Oh, very informative, and thank you.
Absolutely.
Any questions for Mr. Winia? Comments? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, we will have our various department reports, and we'll begin with the director's report, which is, he's been quite busy, so it'll take more than a second.
Well, and I think, Mr. Winia covered the CAC subcommittee meetings that I've been a part of very well. So I think those are two things that will certainly help us first move forward with, plan implementation and tracking that. And then getting the district rebranding done, and that will have kind of a domino effect for us as far as the signage and website design, Facebook logo, and so forth. So additionally, the city of Bloomington's utilities department had a kickoff meeting with their consultant on the anaerobic digester study. Myself, Ms. Munson, and Mr. Winia were invited to attend that meeting. Yeah, I thought it was a good meeting. It was very informative to hear directly from the consulting team. We were able to I guess, or inform the consultants directly of some of the questions that were raised during our discussions here about us contributing to that study, like, benefits to non-CBU customers. We'd like them to address that. Like them to address what kind of an impact the facility might have on the existing local composting facilities, or its ability to collaborate or coexist with those. So I thought it was a very informative meeting. The consultants did state that they plan to have regular, hopefully monthly, update meetings with CBU and the stakeholders in the study. So hopefully that will provide me an opportunity to give the board regular updates on the progress of that study. Did also want to remind people, I think I've mentioned at least last month, if not the past couple of meetings, that we've got a project event coming up with MC Iris on Saturday, June the 18th at the South Walnut Recycling Center, where we're looking to do some, I guess, eradication of predominantly calorie pear, but other invasive species. And certainly would be interested in more interested volunteers for that. They can go to the MC Iris website and register for that event. The district will be providing tools and gloves for the participants of that event. And so we certainly hope to have a good turnout and get some invasive species removed from that facility. So, I think other than that, the education and outreach report is on there, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Ms. Piedmont Smith.
Yeah, Mr. McGlasson, I think I asked this at a previous meeting. Is there a plan to replace the calorie pears that are going to be removed with different trees?
Yeah, potentially. You did ask that. And to be honest, I have not seen the inventory that MC Iris did to see how many and exactly where they are. But, depending on, in addition to calorie repairs, what all is removed and, and what those areas look like when they're done, if there's a need for for erosion control or something to replace things. It may also be possible that, like with the calorie repairs in particular, removing those, there may be natives there that with the tree out of the way might be allowed to flourish where we wouldn't want to replace it. So so potentially there are plans, where needed, we will replace with native species, but there may also be areas that the natives are already there and just need the room to flourish.
And is that part of MC Iris's expertise that they could advise whether to plant something else? for
Yeah,
the-
they when we get in there and start removing things, they would advise us if it would be wise to plant something there or to let what's there take over and flourish.
And is this at the mainly at the landfill or?
This is at the South Walnut facility. So
Oh, it's all at
the
South
admin
Walnut.
building and the recycling center. Mhm.
All right. Well, I'm eager to hear
To see it.
how it goes.
You're welcome to come down and join us if you are free.
18th. I'll check my calendar. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Then we will move on to the next report. And that is from Mr. Joey Long. Recycling and reuse, hazardous materials, rural recycling centers. Hello, Mr. Long.
Hello, everybody. I will start with the recycling and reuse, especially our materials for the arts program. We have been extremely busy this year helping summer camps, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, and numerous other ones. They're all looking for, a way to cut back on money and stuff. So they're using reusable materials. So all of our staff has been gathering up stuff and trying to save stuff when it comes in for them to supply these camps with the materials where they can, don't have to go out and buy new stuff. So we've been extremely busy in the last month or two with that. Our hazardous materials, it's every month it seems like we're going through new trainings, new packaging requirements. We just done a large shipment and we've been doing stuff, this way for a long time. And they came in and we went through a few hours of new training, new packaging, and the way to do stuff differently to cut costs and to save money on shipping, materials, and everything. I look for that to keep going on this year, every month. I believe we're going to keep experiencing that each month. Our rural recycling centers, it's also, we've been doing a lot of repairs on our boxes. They're getting older, so we've fixed some rust. We've had some material welded on. We've repainted some. And it's just upkeep right now, taking care of stuff. And that's all I have for you guys.
So, thank you. Mr. McGlasson, you have a question?
No, actually, I did want to add one thing on to Mr. Long's report that that brought to our attention. We were not notified, but apparently with our Ellisville Recycling Center, Matthews Drive is under construction and closed between State Road 46 and the recycling center. So in order to get to the facility, you do have to go up to Maple Grove Road and come down Matthews from the north to get to the facility.
So how long will this detour be in effect?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out who is. I believe what is happening is they're running utilities to service lines to a senior living facility that's being developed over there. But again, I apologize for the inconvenience to our customers. We were not notified that this was going to happen, and I do not know who's in charge of the project and how long it's projected to last, but we're trying to get that figured out.
Okay. So when you get that all figured out, will you post an update on the website?
Yeah,
Or
yes.
Or the calendar and on Facebook, just for the people who would like to wait until to store all their recyclables until they don't have to make that roundabout trip. Okay, so thank you for that.
Hey, Tom,
I didn't see him.
I do have a email on when the road will be opened up. I will find that and send that to you after this meeting.
Thank you. Yes, that'd be
Excellent.
great.
Thanks, Dan.
Mhm.
Ms. Piedmont Smith.
Yeah, I was just going to ask whether one of my county colleagues on this board could check with Lisa Ridge and make sure that the district is, on the, would it be the county that's doing work there, or would it be the city of the town of
Well,
Ellisville?
I believe it's a private contractor doing the work because it's related to that
Yeah.
development. But they would have had to either the town of Ellisville or county highway or both had to go through them to arrange for the road closure.
Well, I wonder if we could reach out to county and Ellisville town bodies that would normally notify neighbors and make sure we're on the list to be
Mhm.
notified if something like this happens again.
Yeah. Good.
That would be a town project, and I will also note that Highway Department regularly updates their list on their website of road closures, upcoming and construction projects that are coming up or ongoing. And there's a website you can join if you go to co.monroe.in.us and go to our Highway Department. You can sign up to be on an email list to receive information on a regular basis on all closures.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I will apologize. I did see that, but I've been recovering from COVID and wasn't very alert, or I would have noticed you guys weren't included on the email. So like I said, after the meeting, I will get it to you. And I will let them know to make sure that you're on there if anything like that occurs again. With that new development, it very well could happen again before the summer's out. So I will make sure you get on the list.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Our next report is by Mr. Lee Paulson for the landfill and environmental compliance.
Hello, Lee Paulson here. I just a couple things to highlight within the report. I don't know how loud I'm supposed to talk. I get the fan on in here, so I don't know if I'm yelling or something like that. So I apologize for that. It just Mary Beth and I had we completed the May 2022 groundwater sampling a couple weeks ago. So all of that stuff has been forwarded on to Element Labs for analysis. And actually today I got the last pieces from them to put together and have sent it off to AECom for statistical analysis. So should be 3 or 4 weeks at least while they do and analyze all the data. This was a long list, so it's many parameters per each well that we sampled. So it takes them a little while longer to get through all the data and make sure everything is the way that our state person likes that stuff. So, so that part is done. Actually today as well, due to our pond levels being down and we have that invasive weed back in the pond again this year. I shut the treatment plant down today, and I'm going to try to work with Bynum Faneuil to try to see if we can take a different approach to remediating the weeds in the pond over the next couple of weeks and see what that looks like. I'm pretty much in the same boat we were in before in regards to how to handle that. The only thing that really seems to have any effect is chemicals, and chemicals are really a challenging thing to use with our system because if we use chemicals, whatever chemical we use in there, we can't use our treatment plant because that stuff will kill our bugs, which is therefore effectively treating the dirty water. The chemicals that they use also speed up the deterioration of the liner, which is something that we do not want to do in any way, shape, or form. So we are trying to not have to drain that pond again this summer because that was not a very fun adventure. But we're trying to maybe do something more spot where we just kind of clean up a spot where there's maybe some sediment built up and see if that does something. I've been trying to research covers to maybe go on the pond, but those are extremely expensive. And what that would actually do, nobody can tell me. I'm really having a hard time finding anybody in the state that has any kind of similarity to what we're dealing with, because we have a lot of unique features. We have a lined collection pond from a closed landfill, and there's not a whole lot of systems that do what we do or how we do it. So really not finding a lot of other alternatives than what we're doing. So I'm trying to explore and continue to explore how we can, and hopefully not kill myself in the process with being out there in 100-degree heat in that pond. So, but we're working on it, and hopefully we'll have something here in the next couple of weeks and see what happens. So there we kind of go. And then the other thing I would highlight is that our Adopt a Road participation has really jumped up these past couple months. So Mary Beth has done an excellent job of finding some community people that really want to help out in the community, and really engaged with some of our existing groups that have gotten out and done some positive things. I believe there was a couple things on social media where people were complaining along a couple roadways where they were seeing bags of trash at regular intervals, and I did respond, basically saying, yes, that's a community group, and we cannot be out there on, when those bags are done. But we were out there the next morning when that cleanup was done, and all those things were cleaned up and taken care of. So thank you to those groups and Mary Beth for continuing her positive efforts to keep up with that. So other than that, if you guys have any questions.
Questions, board members? You fine? Any questions, Mr. Winia? We have no questions for you, Lee Paulson, but we thank you for your report. Next meeting, we'll plan a whole bunch of questions for you.
Oh, woohoo! All right, thank you, guys.
Okay. Well, everyone, that brings us to the close of our agenda. Is there any more business before the board? Well, I have one thing to make, and that is a very brief report to say that questionnaires for the performance review of our executive director have been submitted. I now have them in hand. It is up to me to do the tabulating, and you'll hear about this when that gets done. We will, the executive committee will look at these first, and then we will have an executive session of the board of directors and meet with Mr. McGlasson. And that has been the way we've handled it before, and it's worked very well. So that's all for the future, and thank you for your attendance today. Oh, Ms. Piedmont-Smith.
I wanted to add to what Chair Munson said earlier in the meeting about Kathy Martin and how pleased we've been with the job she has done as our controller in the past year. And we're very sad to see her go, but thank you, Kathy, and best of luck to you in your new position. And we'll miss you. Come back and visit.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I will come back and visit. So
Good, thank you. So
Ditto, thanks.
that's, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say ditto. Thank you, Kathy, for your service. Appreciate it.
thank you.
So I would just like to say to the public that there is a job opening that is posted. If you have comptroller skills, please look at this posting. Thank you all very much. See you next month.